Welcome back to the Tiger Suite. My name is Anna, and I have a really special guest today. Please introduce yourself.
I am Kat Talley. I'm a psychic and an intuition coach.
Okay, I was just telling Kat that I'm so excited to have her on. Welcome back, by the way, because I haven't posted in a while, but I told Kat that it was not something that I can pass. Like I needed to fit her in my schedule any which way she would allow me. Um, So, Kat, I would love if you would just tell us a little bit about yourself. And then I get to ask all the questions I want, which I'm so excited.
So I guess I'll start
Yeah.
with my psychic abilities, right?
Yes, please, 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 please.
I want to start by saying that our bodies are naturally have psychic abilities. It's innate to all of
Wow.
us. There's not a specific group or a certain kind of people, or it's just healers, or it's just allotted to a specific group of people. It's
Mhm.
our body's innate natural technology.
Okay.
So all of us have psychic abilities. I think when we're younger, I think a lot of us know this already, that when we're younger, they seem to be heightened, right?
Right, that's what they say. Kids can see things and
Yes,
right.
yes. And there's a few reasons why, and I think it goes into a lot that yes, they're newer to the world. They're
Mhm.
not as programmed, right? So a
Yeah.
lot of our beliefs play into our psychic abilities. People don't know about that, but we can talk about that later.
Yes.
Since I was young, I mean 2 years old, 3 years old, was remembering past lives or simultaneous lives.
Oh my God. And you remember,
I
like you,
remembered them. Yeah.
wow.
And my dad, and it was interesting because I think I'm grateful the environment that I grew up in. My father wasn't someone who, even though he was Christian, he wasn't someone who would downplay those types of things. So,
Okay.
because of that, I talked about it more frequently. I felt more open to it. It didn't feel abnormal.
It was
He,
safe.
exactly. My grandmother, so my dad's mom, she had these abilities as well. So he
That's so
already,
cool.
I know,
That is
he
so
already
cool.
knew. He already knew. And so when I was telling him these things at such a young age, he was just like, okay, what else? Like, da 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 da. And I was having dreams as well. So when I turned 4 or 5, there were dreams I would have about specific people passing away. I know.
Oh my
I know.
God. It's
And
so
I
little.
so young, so young. My own mother. I think that was when I knew in between 7 and 8. So I grew up a Christian.
Hmm.
When I was 7 or 8, my abilities like were through the roof. I had a dream before my mom passed away, 2 to 3 months before she passed away, 3 days in a row. It was so interesting. It was like she in each dream, so each day, it was like she was further and further away. So the first one, it was like I kept trying to get close to her, and it was like she would get further and further away. So like within this vicinity of me. The
Oh my
second dream,
gosh.
she was a little bit more translucent and was like even further away. And then third one, she was like all the way on a hill and I could not reach her. And I didn't know what it meant until she passed.
Oh my God. I
Yeah,
have
I know.
chills. I have chills. Oh my
I know. And so when I
gosh.
was in church, people would call me a prophet. They were like Prophet Katie, Prophet Cat, like because I would
Yeah.
prophesied over things that would happen before they would happen. So I knew I had
So
abilities.
you were this little girl, like
Yes.
telling people, like, this is what's going to happen.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, for a long time.
Wow. Was there ever a time when you were little, or did your dad tell you immediately, like, no, this is what you have, like, honor your gift, or
He knew they were gifts,
okay.
but he didn't have the terminology for them, right? So we always seen it as like the Holy Spirit or
Yeah.
you're divinely touched, God, you're anointed. Though that was the terminology that I grew up with. It
Yeah.
wasn't until, which is a whole nother story, until I left the church and just ventured off into like my own healing journey and
Mm-hmm.
going within myself that I started to venture into different terminology that made sense. The dots started connecting, right?
Yeah.
Psychic abilities, intuition, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clear hearing, all
Oh
of
my
these different things that I'm like,
gosh.
oh my, like that's what I was experiencing
Yeah.
because you don't know,
Was that
right?
like so validating for you in a
Oh,
way?
100%.
Oh, I bet.
it was like an awakening in itself because I was
Yeah.
already going through one, but you go through multiple. I think people
Right.
were like, oh, in my awakening journey, but no, you go through multiple awakenings. So when I started to learn this information, the terminology around it, I was like, wow, that
Mm-hmm.
now I can think back to when I was a little kid. And this is trippy. This
Okay.
is where you kind of like time, I realized time was not linear.
Mm-hmm.
When you start to heal and do inner healing, right? Whether it's inner child work, whether it's shadow work, whatever
Yeah.
modality or tool you're utilizing, you start to realize a lot of the times. I remember when I was like 13, I was crying and I was like, I want my mom, God. Why did you? I was so angry.
Yeah.
And I seen this figure come in, and he presented himself as Yeshua. He
Oh
did
my
not, I
gosh.
know.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
He didn't look like the Jesus we know. He
Yeah.
definitely looked Middle Eastern, but he had this calmness about him. He didn't move his mouth and he spoke telepathically. And he was like, get up, go to the mirror and look at yourself. He's like, you are your mother. And I was bawling.
Oh
It was
my
like, you know what it reminded me
gosh.
of? Lion King.
Yes, 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 yes. I know
When
exactly what you're
Simba
talking
went
about.
to the water and he
Yes,
saw
his
himself
dad.
in, yes, his dad in himself. That's exactly what I thought of.
That's so beautiful, Kat.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you mention it. So my mom,
Mm-hmm.
we come from I'm Mexican, so
Mm-hmm.
my dad's side of the family is very indigenous, and I've got to hear the colonization side, but before that, like all of the
Yeah.
beliefs. And my mom, when I was like 11, I want to say, or 12, she went through like a really strange spiritual awakening
Yeah.
where all of a sudden she woke up and the things she was speaking, like she got like religious, but it wasn't religious because it's not
Yeah.
like she was dragging us to church all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But she used to do nails, and her and my dad were going through this crazy time, and this lady that she's never seen before came, and she was a psychic. And
Mm.
so she told her, all about herself, basically. And my mom got really freaked out because she was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
so after that, she was never the same. And so as time has gone by, her and she always says, like, I feel so connected to you. Like, you and I are connected. I have two other
Mm-hmm.
siblings, but
Mm-hmm.
she will text me and she'll be like, I know you're going through something right now. I can feel you.
Yeah.
And so growing up, like, she always instilled, I grew up Catholic, but it wasn't like super Catholic. It was just more so like the teachings. And
Yeah.
she taught us how to pray really young. I've been talking to God since I was like as long as I can remember. And I've talked to
Yeah.
angels, and I always like, it wasn't really like an imaginary friend for me. It was always like someone was there with me.
Right.
And I, around like 13 or 14, went through like a really hard depression.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that's an age where a
it's
lot
so,
of us do.
oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
it was so hard, so hard. And I remember one day literally like sitting down, because I'm a middle child through and through, so we're kind of just put to the side a little bit. So I grew up really really lonely. Like I was very like independent in my room by myself. As long as I
Yeah.
was fed, I was good.
Yeah.
And I remember one day just being so sad. And I sat in my room and I closed my eyes and I asked God for a hug. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, God, like if like I just need a hug. Like I wish I could hug you.
Yeah.
And I literally felt like a figure, like the amount of stress that was lifted off of my body.
Yeah.
I remember that so vividly. And
Mm-hmm.
when I tell regular people, not that I'm just always talking about it, but when I tell anyone, they'll look at me like, okay, girl.
Right. Right.
But as time has gone by, I've gone through so many different things. So it's so interesting that around the same ages, things like
Mm-hmm.
that are happening because it's such a formative
It
age.
is. There's certain ages there's transitions we all kind of collectively go through at that
Yeah.
age, right? So I feel like 2 and 3 year olds, they're going through learning about their emotions, having these outbursts, and a lot of people don't know this, but toddlers have those outbursts because they don't know how to regulate their emotions.
Right.
Their brains, their hemispheres are not connected, so they act on impulse. And so when you're
Right.
12, 13, you're going through these transitions of hormones and all these different things happening inside your body. Those big emotions, those big things.
Oh,
Yes. And then
right.
even when you're 29, 30, you go through your Saturn return.
Right.
Everybody does. It's those different transitions in life we all kind of collectively go through. And to kind of like, your story, that's beautiful. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing
Thank you
that.
for sharing yours.
Yeah,
Oh my
of course.
gosh.
But I was saying like that conversation or that story with Yeshua, I after when I was looking at myself, I also felt a hug, like a presence,
Mhm.
like something where I just felt like something lifted off of me and I could feel like this gold, like safe energy.
Wow.
When I was 24, 25, I was doing a lot of inner healing, inner
Mhm.
child. I'm like, when did this happen? Why was I so angry at this age? Like all of that, when you go through that discovery phase, right?
Yeah.
And I was meditating and I saw my current self when I was 24, 25 go back to that version of me and I was hugging me.
Oh my
Yes.
God. That's so
Yes. That is
beautiful.
why, like, that point, I was like, oh my gosh, time is an illusion. Like, we are
Yeah.
healing ourselves, we are saving ourselves the majority of the time.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that of time because I want to say in the last 10 years, I always think of past me so much, especially like
Mm-hmm.
right now. I'm in the thick of healing like my inner teenager, I like to call her, because
Yes,
I've done so
yes.
much childhood work
Yep.
through therapy over the years where I'm okay with that now, with what happened. But the
Yeah.
teenage one, like, she's fucking mad.
Yeah.
She's so pissed,
Oh
and I'm
yeah.
like, girl, relax. We're like, she's still there. But the times in my 20s have just been so painful, but not in like a oh poor me kind of way. It's
Yeah.
more been like growing pains and like
Mm-hmm.
gaining wisdom and healing.
Right.
But 4 years ago, right before I moved here, we were just talking about the in between, the liminal space,
Liminal
literally before we
space. Yep.
started.
Yep.
I was in another in between. I had just graduated college, and I always knew I wanted to leave Phoenix since I got there. We moved there when I was 4, and I hated it immediately. I was like, why are we here? I
You're
was
like, this is not for
confused. It
me.
was not for me. And since I was little, like, I literally would constantly, I would obsess over New York. I would um see myself
You know what's
living
funny is when
there.
I was driving here, I kept visualizing New York. I'm like, there, she has to have a tie.
Stop,
There
that's
has to
crazy. Oh my
be.
god, yes.
You
Like,
know what it
I
is you, there's an energy. See, now I'm channeling.
yeah,
This is crazy. So it's not crazy, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's an energy about you that wants to be visible and seen. I mean, given, right, this, but
Yeah,
there's an energy about you, but I feel like there's going to be more transitions that come, liminal spaces.
yeah.
But I feel like wherever you go, as long as you have that inner confidence, you're going to be a star. You
Oh
don't
my
need
god,
to be in a
Kat.
specific location because I feel like mentally and like maybe even subconsciously, you believe you need to be in New York, you need to be in Miami, you need to be in places where there's a lot of people, LA, where there's a lot of
Yeah.
people and you need to be seen. But your energy, your inner confidence is going to show through no matter where you are.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh,
Yeah,
Kat. Oh my gosh. That's
yeah.
crazy. But as we're talking about time, uh
Yeah.
it's so strange that I'm having like the inner dialogues that I was when I was 22. And it's
Mm,
literally, I know it's like the closing of a cycle, because
yes.
before I moved here, I dyed my hair red all of a sudden,
Yep.
and I was so excited, but it was an in between. So I was constantly like, when is it going to be the time that I want it to be? Like, when am I going to leave? I was applying to law schools everywhere. They were holding me
Yeah.
hostage with, letters of acceptance, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember a very specific conversation I had with myself. I was like coming home from work. I parked my car, and I literally said, 2 months from now, a year from now,
Yeah.
I know that version of me is looking back and she wants to give me a hug. I know she
Oh.
wants to give me a
Yep.
hug. And if my pain right now, my uncomfortability got her there, then
Yeah.
I'm okay with what I'm going through right now. But I
Mm-hmm.
literally like envisioned myself, and I was like, I know you're looking back thanking me, bitch, like,
Yes,
and you
yes.
better be like.
Yeah.
And I found myself having that same conversation in my
Mm-hmm.
vehicle,
Yep.
like that same conversation, like, oh, in a month everything's going to be so different, everything's going to
Wow.
be so different.
Yeah.
And I dyed my hair red, and I
Mm-hmm.
literally had the realization the other day where I was like, I'm moving back to Phoenix
Yeah.
to the T of when
Mm-hmm.
I moved here.
Yeah.
So I know I'm at peace with my decision, because this was how it was supposed to happen. Like,
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
So that is so crazy that you talk about time. Is there, like, as time went on, because you talked
Mm-hmm.
about in your early 20s doing so much healing work, what did
Yeah.
that look like for you?
Yeah. It was a lot of unlearning, a lot of, I guess, deprogramming. Because whew, when I think of like my early childhood, adolescence, even early 20s, there was a lot of things I had to unlearn. Specifically, I will say around religion, but
Mm-hmm.
around even just how I was treated and the things that I had learned was safe, right?
Yeah.
Because even if something is wrong and you know it's wrong, your body will become familiar with that pattern. And so it will
Mm-hmm.
feel safe even if you know this is not safe for me.
Yeah.
And so as I grew up, a lot of that safety, quote unquote safety that wasn't really safety, came from my dad. Yeah.
Oh my
So a lot of like
gosh.
being let down, a lot of no follow through, and that carried into my adult relationships, specifically with men.
It was
So
a
you see
pattern that
that
was
pattern.
repeating.
Yes. So I had to unlearn a lot of that. I had to also unlearn a lot of, like I said, things around religion and things that were demonized that were just natural to me and are actually a gift.
Oh my God, that is so I now that you mention that, how did you come to the conclusion that you were okay? That what you were doing was okay? Because I had an awakening, like another awakening, maybe
Mm-hmm.
when I was like 18, 19. They're always so difficult. They get
Yeah.
really dark for me.
Yeah.
And so that's when I'm just like, what is happening? This is not me,
Mm-hmm.
But I started when I was about 18, I got really into astrology. Like, that is
Yeah.
my niche.
Yeah.
Astrology is my niche. I love
Yes.
astrology. I was the
Mm-hmm.
friend that was carrying books everywhere. Like, let me read your birth chart, when like
Yeah.
that wasn't really a thing yet, So
Right,
people were like,
right.
what are you talking about?
This, yeah.
And I went to a Christian university,
Mm-hmm.
only because I got a scholarship. That was it. Not my first choice, really, but it taught me so much about
Right.
Jesus, and so I'm
Right.
super grateful. But
Yeah.
I started creating an altar for myself when I was about
Mm-hmm.
18, 19. So when
Yeah.
I moved into a dorm, that altar came with me.
Right.
And by that point, it was like a dorm where we all had an individual room.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is, but I feel so connected to my ancestors, like my great
Mm-hmm.
grandparents. Like, I want to know so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I created my altar. They're all there. I honor them, and I light candles. And I remember at that time, I was judged because I was at a super Christian university. Like,
Yep.
I was kind of shown off like a little show girl, like, oh, tell us about your witchcraft, things like
Yeah.
that. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't like, this is just like your religion, like,
Right.
this isn't like a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a point where I felt some shame. Like, I had a
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend, and he would come over, and I would
Hide
cover
it.
everything.
Yeah.
How did you overcome that? I don't know that you were ever shameful, but how did you
Yeah.
overcome the outside noise?
Yeah. Um, a few different ways, right? I think throughout life, when you're transitioning or when you're learning something new and you're excited about it, whatever it is, you come to those points where you're kind of nervous or
Mm-hmm.
scared of being shown or being visible in what it is that you find exciting,
Yeah.
no matter what it is, right? We all have to kind of overcome that, because then what does that do? That allows you to be authentic to you.
Right.
So when you tap into that energy, you just naturally become magnetic. But it's like you have to get over that hump first, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I was shamed specifically, and still to this day with my family. Like they joke and they call me, they're like, oh, Kat is a sorcerer. She's a sorcerer. And
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, To me, it makes it
Like,
makes
yeah,
me
I
and
am.
no, it makes me laugh because I'm just like, is that supposed to be a diss? Because it's a
Yeah.
compliment.
Yeah.
Like,
You're like,
I'll be
thank
the
you.
sorcerer. Let me be the sorcerer.
That's
Yeah, yeah, I
sick.
know exactly. So like I get called that. They they'll talk amongst themselves and kind of like, to me it's gossip,
Yeah.
chismosa, but
Yeah.
it I find pride in what I do. When you know who you are, you don't care. You start to
Mhm.
not care because you want to just be you. And I think it's hard to get to that place. So what helped me was realizing there's times you kind of go into that shadow, hide your altar, hide what it is you're doing. I On every platform I've been on, I've gone viral. When I
Yeah.
was on TikTok, I went viral on LinkedIn. And on TikTok, it really taught me. I went back inside my shell because I was talking about all the stuff they're talking about now, the Epstein
Mhm.
list. I was talking about aliens. I was talking about gifts, like your psychic abilities. And I had a very, and this is what happens too. You have to be so confident in yourself and what you know and what you love that the outside noise doesn't penetrate,
Interfere.
interfere at all, because you're going to become a mirror.
Yeah.
When you become a mirror, you have people that see your authenticity and they gravitate towards it and they love it. And then you're going to have people that it triggers them. Whatever it is, it's going to trigger them.
Yeah.
And when I would go through the comments, I would see people that are like, yes, I felt this before. Oh, I believe this. I feel this. I've researched this. Yeah, I've seen this list, or I've seen like XYZ. And then you get people, oh, where's your tinfoil hat? Oh,
Oh my
you're
gosh.
fucking
Yes.
crazy.
Right.
Oh, are you going to go to a psych ward? And I
Oh
did
my
not at
gosh.
that time, because I was in my early 20s, I did not know how to handle that or navigate that at all.
Yeah.
And so I shut down, deleted my TikTok with, like, as a
Wow.
true Scorpio, right? Death and rebirth. I'm
Yeah.
constantly, but I took that as a learning lesson. I took time away, and then I just like, you redevelop, you learn, like, okay, what feels truly good for you. You have to think life is so short. How do you
Yeah.
want to live it? Do you want to live your life for someone else, or do you want to live your life for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? As you're saying that, so I'm about to be 27, so I'm not quite yet at my Saturn return yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I know she's coming. I
Oh yeah.
feel her. Because and it maybe also be like the frontal lobe development, because I also
Mm-hmm.
think that's a big part. Prefrontal lobe me is very fucking different. She made very
Oh
different
yeah, yeah,
decisions
yeah.
that I would
Yeah.
probably not make today. Um, but I am kind of getting to that space. For me, people pleasing. It was like
Yeah.
I got to the point, and I really feel like it happened this year
Yeah.
specifically, like the things that I've gone through, um, where I had a realization where I had to stop, and I was like, wait, are all of the decisions that I've made with myself, with my family, with my career,
Mm-hmm.
all of them have been to please other people.
Yes.
It's never
Yes.
been for myself. I had that realization. I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, everything about me is how can I help you?
Yes.
And I've like
Mm-hmm.
reached a point where fuck that. Like, I
Yeah.
want to help me. I want to live for me. I want to burn it all down. Right
Yep.
now, I'm in a stage where
Yep.
I just want to set it all on fire and say fuck it and like
Yes.
move on with my life.
Those are the best moments, right? Because that's when the phoenix rises from the
Yeah.
ashes. Because you're unlearning. You're
Yeah.
unlearning the programming of people pleasing, and you might have seen your mom do that, your dad do that, your aunts, uncles. It's a learning pattern that we have to unlearn. The
Yeah.
people pleasing. That
Yeah.
is a huge one.
It's so hard, especially, I saw this big theory, where you specifically have, how many siblings do you have, Kat?
Oh, I have a lot. I have a lot. A lot of half siblings. My mom
Yeah.
and dad were out there. Let me
Yeah.
tell you.
Yep. Girl. So they say that when you grow up in a chaotic household, an unstable household,
Yeah.
you all have a different version of that,
Oh,
right? So like
100%.
if I talk to my sister about a certain event, she might have a different opinion about what
Mm-hmm.
happened. And I'm
Yep.
like, I'm the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So I was the people pleaser in my house. My sister was like, the fuck you. She's a Leo through and through, that girl. Like, she's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I wanted to please because I saw in my head how I was, processing it, I was like, oh, I see what happens when you stick up for yourself, and it
Mm-hmm.
causes issues. It causes tension. I want to please my parents. Like I don't want them to be mad at me. So I
Yeah.
remember having those thoughts like, oh, I don't want to be like the one that causes issues. I'm just gonna say yes and no. But it really put me in a shell. Now that you mention it, it
Yep.
put me in a shell. I like went back into my cave kind of thing,
Yep.
where I had to start unlearning a lot. And so being visible made me really uncomfortable.
It
Talking
does.
out loud made me
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Just being proud of what I liked, music and,
Yeah.
things like that. So I find it really funny now that I'm having those realizations, especially since I was about maybe 23,
Yeah.
where I'm like, wait, doing this for you makes me really unhappy. Like I don't want to do that to
Mm-hmm.
myself anymore.
Yeah.
It's more draining to me to help you than it is to help myself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's funny that you mentioned that. As time has gone by, was there any specific things, because now you full on, like, you are you. Like
Mm-hmm.
you are you through and through, Cat. Like you don't put on a show for
You're
anyone.
right.
You carry what you are and what you do
Thank you.
wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
How did
Mm-hmm.
you get to that point where you are, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. I
Yeah.
don't care about anything else. Like I'm going to
Yeah.
be me.
The unlearning in the early 20s, right? A lot of that, but I think it's over time you feel how good you feel,
Yeah.
right? It's almost like a reward when you start to embody the things that you love, the authenticity. When you also start attracting similar like-minded people.
Yeah.
The more you become visible and talking about things that you want, because I think of it like this. I got to a point too where I'm like, I put stuff out that people want to see. This was before I started putting stuff on TikTok and all that. Like before I started
Mm-hmm.
doing all of that, I'm like, do I put stuff that people want, or do I want to find people that actually like the same things I do? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Think about that, because then you're going to be attracting that. And then if you get brand deals or if you get collabs, it's going to be around stuff that you don't even fucking care about.
Right. Right. A phone case.
Hey,
Like,
but what if it have easel on it and it has like the
hey,
spiritual stuff on it,
yeah,
zodiac
that's
sign?
different.
But what if it had like stuff that you're not interested in? You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like the little rewards, like the universe will give back to you when you start to embody what's authentic to you and get, you know what? Your authenticity and your values will change over time.
Yeah.
It's how aligned are you with that? Are you showing that, or are you not really showing up authentically? Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So it's like over time it will change. My perspective has changed so many times, and you're allowed to.
Yeah.
You're allowed to. And you also don't have to think. And I think when people that are in this space that are around healing or energy healing or all the woo woo, all the
Right.
woo
All
woo
the woo
stuff,
woos.
you think that there's a point where you also get where you don't have to constantly be healing, because I went through that cycle too, where it's like, okay, what's next? What's next? Where's the
Yeah.
book? Where's the next, method? What? Oh, I have to go to an energy healing. I have to go to sound bath, like to feel enough.
Yeah.
You are enough as you are right now. As you are right now, the hardest thing to do is be present with who you are right now, because we focus so much on the future version of
Right.
us, where are we going, and the past version of us. We never think about who we are right now, like
That
to
is
love you
such,
right now.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
such a good point.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Has there been like a time for you? Because I'm sure you're constantly channeling.
Mhm.
Does it ever get difficult? Does it ever get tiring for you? How do you
Yeah.
control it?
Great question. Because I would say 27 and under, it was so uncontrollable to the point where I was hearing people's thoughts.
Oh my
I would walk
gosh.
into spaces. I mean, I was always somewhat of an, I guess, ambivert, where I can be extroverted with certain people,
Mm-hmm.
but I was an introvert at the same time. So I was a good mix.
Yeah.
But in big spaces with a lot of people, I know my capacity now. I had to learn that. My capacity is like 2 hours
Yeah.
being out with people. And then I need to go and recover.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had to learn those boundaries. Like over time, you start to see where your limits are. You start to see where, okay, this was too much for me. This was just enough. You start to figure those things out. Where I learned my boundaries specifically with channeling, because when I would be out, it's like, I was thinking about this as I was coming over. It's like a filter. So when you're filtering out, I'm
Mm.
turning off this filter, this filter, this filter. I had to learn how to do that because I'd come into somebody's house, or if I meet somebody, I stuff would be
Immediately.
popping in immediately, and I'm like, I would be drained. So it's
Yeah.
about one, filtering, learning what to filter and protect yourself psychically, energetically. So I'm not constantly channeling. I
Yeah.
channel when I want to, on demand. Yes.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
also protecting yourself energetically, right? Pouring
Yeah.
back into yourself, because if you're constantly tuned into everything, you got to make sure you're replenished.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do you replenish? What does that look like
Oh,
for you?
for me, the biggest thing, and I think a lot of psychics, a lot of healers will say this: water. Water
Really?
is like so big for me. I had someone tell me, she was like, yeah, why is it when I'm on the airplane or when I'm in a shower, like I'm getting all these thoughts? And I'm like, you have to think that we have all these different, right, you're the Wi-Fi, you're
Mm-hmm.
constantly, you're still getting information, you can't see the waves, but they're
Right.
coming. We have 5G towers, we have the food, we have other people around us, their energetic fields are constantly feeding to us.
Yeah.
So when you're in the shower, it's almost like your senses aren't overloaded.
Oh my gosh, you are like doing like light bulb moments for me right now. It's so
You know what?
crazy.
That's why they say shower thoughts. When you're having
Yeah.
those shower moments, those shower thoughts, that's my favorite because I can visualize, I picture the water when it's a physical sensation. So I can picture the water pulling away any
Yeah.
energy from the day, anything that is not mine, pulling it away. But then simultaneously, I'm not constantly bombarded with all the different waves going around, the energetic fields around me. It's like this water is almost encompassing me in like this field to where I can just get direct downloads, information.
Oh
It's
my
so cool.
gosh. You know,
Yeah.
now that you're saying that, it's so funny because for whatever reason, I love the ocean. I've always loved the
Mm.
ocean. And
Mm-hmm.
anytime and my mom does too. Like her house
Oh.
is a beach house. Girl, we're in Arizona. What are we talking about? It's literally like beaches everywhere.
Yeah.
But anytime where I've needed to truly, truly heal, I'm like, I need to go to a beach. I need to go to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go into the water.
Yeah.
And this summer, I've gone to the lake so much because I'm
Yeah.
like, I need to heal. I need to heal. And maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, I helped a mutual friend, Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
I did some photos for her, and it was inside the lake. And I remember
Yes.
having such a difficult day at work that day. You could probably see it on my face when I got there. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like fully myself. The minute I got to get into the water and like literally cover myself in the water, I
Yeah.
was a new person. So
Yes.
it's so funny that you say that. Every single time I've needed to like truly process something, I'm like, get
Mm-hmm.
me to the beach, get me to the beach. I need to go
Yeah.
inside the ocean to heal.
Well, as
Wow.
women too, right? We're feminine, feminine energy. It's a good to have like a balance of both, but digging into the feminine side, water is feminine. It's flow. So when we go
Oh.
back to the source or the energy or the element of it, it's healing to us naturally.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm learning so much. This is so fun. Wow. So
Yeah.
the shower is like, would you say like that is your
That's my
tiger suite?
number that I you know what? I was going to tell you that. So my tiger suite is interesting, has always been my car.
Wow.
My
Do
car.
you think you reach meditative states when you're driving?
Oh, 100%. This is the thing. People think meditation is just sitting down, zoning out, and no thoughts, no nothing. Meditation is being present. So think about that.
Mm.
When you're singing in your car, are you being present?
Right, yeah.
You're present. That's a form of meditation.
Oh my
There's so many different
gosh.
forms of meditation. We just don't see it as that. To me, from my definition, meditation is being present. It's when
Yeah.
you're able to just be here versus be in the future, be in the past. Like you're here,
Yeah.
singing in the car, driving. Certain sometimes when you're driving, you're on autopilot and you are thinking about a million
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
But there are certain moments that people don't realize they're actually meditating or in a meditative state.
That is so insane. So yours is your
Mine is my
car.
car. I will say shower too. Like when I was younger, the same thing. The bathroom, the shower was for me. But like adolescence, like once I got a car, my car has always been like my sanctuary, my go-to space. I drive around. Um, when I was going through a lot in like past relationships, like that was my safe space. That was my safe
Wow.
space. Yeah.
I love that. Now that you mention relationships, Kat,
Yeah.
with all of your gifts and all of your
Mm-hmm.
wisdom, was there ever times where you felt like you had to hide that away from like your partners, or were the ones to directly judge you for what you were
You
thinking or
know,
believing?
that's a great question. And like I've never thought about that, but looking back, never.
That's great. That's a
Never.
good thing.
Yeah, never. And I think the only time I felt like I had to hide things or kind of soften who I was around family. But now, like, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, sorry.
They know. They're like, she's the sorcerer. So, like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's who I
Yeah, I
am.
love that. The
Yeah.
reason why I asked that is because, like I mentioned, there were times where I
Yeah.
was like, I have to hide this.
Yeah.
I can't take the judgment, or I don't even want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got with my husband, I had a spiritual shop during the pandemic. It was
Mm-hmm.
like for crystals and healing, and
Right.
I was very open during that time. And he actually ended up ordering for me just to get my attention. But I
Oh.
thought it was the funniest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
And so as time has gone by, when I met him, it's not like he was an atheist, but it wasn't like he believed in something specific either.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would ask me a lot of questions like, oh, what do you believe in? And I wouldn't really have a concrete answer for him. I'd be like, if
Yeah.
I could put it into words, I would, but I kind of believe in everything, like,
Yeah.
but as time has gone by, I do a lot of spiritual work. Like I work with candles and herbs and things like that. And I think at first when he was like, oh, okay, you're gonna do it, he never shamed me, but he was just like, okay, honey, like
Yeah.
things
Okay,
has
sure.
gone
Yeah, yeah,
by, like,
yeah.
okay. Recently we were talking about, I don't even know what, but he was like, we've been together almost 5 years now, or married almost 5 years. And he was like, as time has gone by, like, I really believe it. I really believe it
Wow.
because everything has always worked out, he said. Everything has
Oh,
always worked
yeah.
out. Like, how can I not believe it? Because it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And I was like, see, I told you,
You're like, see, yeah, yeah.
And he's probably the first person that I can really feel safe. Like, I'm just like mumble jumble, like, like sometimes word vomiting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I now that we're getting into like the nitty gritty of like abilities,
Yeah.
I channel through my dreams. And
Mm-hmm.
I've always channeled through my dreams. Like that is
Yeah.
really like the time, because I grew up with spirits in my house, not good ones. And so
Mm-hmm.
as time went on, and I got more into, and I would always tell them, like, please leave me alone. I don't want to see you. I don't want you to speak through me here. Go to the realm. Go to the realm. Like, I don't want you to scare
Yeah.
me. Like, I would
Yeah.
always like yell at them, like, don't fucking scare me. Like, I don't
Right.
like that, kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
And so I started getting, when I was just like, what? And during the pandemic, I don't know what happened,
Mm-hmm.
that I went vegan. So I don't know if that, now that we're talking about food, I went vegan.
I did too.
I
Yeah.
started, exercising more,
Yep.
and meditating every day. I made it like a practice. I was going to Sedona a lot,
Mm-hmm.
constantly. And so my dreams started getting a lot more vivid, but it started getting to the point where, like you said, things started happening like how I saw
Mm-hmm.
it. And so I was like, ooh.
Yep.
But as time has gone by, I feel like that part of my eye or my brain has just closed. And I don't know if it's because, I'm an adult now. I'm not like, I don't have the free, well, right now, I don't have the
Mm-hmm.
free will to just like constantly dedicate to my practice. I have to go make money and pay bills and, be
Mm-hmm.
part of the matrix, as you would say it. How do you how would you advise someone to try and develop those abilities if they want to?
Perfect. So I had a workshop on this, right?
Ooh.
So I did a psychic workshop, and the number one thing I had everybody figure out first is what was their main way of receiving information. So for you,
Mm-hmm.
it's dreams, right? So
Yeah.
I would advise you to dream journal again. Start dream journaling. Even if it's the smallest thing. Say you have a dream and
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I was in a green car and that's it. That's all I
Yeah.
remember. It's a muscle. Every psychic ability, clairvoyance, clear seeing, clairaudience, clear hearing, all of them, claircognizance, where you have drop in insight, they're all like muscles.
Yeah.
right? Just because you can't see them or people think they're not real, like they're like muscles. The more that you use them, the more that you practice with them, the more they start to come back online. Because, like I said, it's your body's innate technology.
Right.
So it never fully disappears.
Right. You're just not
It's
like tapping into that
correct.
muscle.
Yes. And the fact that you already have the belief that they're there and that they work is your kind of, I would say, a step above, because, or not above, like ahead. Um because a lot of times too, like I said, it's our body's innate technology. There was a study by Canadian researchers. I think his
Mm-hmm.
name was Morris Friedman, was the main person, the professor that headed this research. They found that the prefrontal cortex filters out psi abilities. It will
Wow.
filter out the psi abilities depending on a plethora of things, right? If it's damaged, if there's different things going on there. And the number one thing was like your beliefs. So
Yeah.
imagine if you grow up similar to myself, thinking those types of abilities like channeling, all that stuff is like demons, or it's not,
Right.
then you're going to be more scared to do it. So your
Right.
brain will filter it out because it deems it as not being like, it deems it as not being safe.
It's
It's the
negative.
same, exactly. It's the same thing as like your nervous system. It's all connected. So your nervous system does the same thing. Even if, like I said, something is good for you and you know, like, oh my gosh, this pattern is bad or this person is bad, but you're stuck in that loop, but it's familiar. It's always been that
Yeah.
same way. So it's familiar. The moment that you start to shift and make a new pattern and make it feel safe, right? So you're starting to journal a little bit, dream journal, and you're doing it consistently, it becomes routine. And this is the thing, like
Mm.
I felt so guilty before I had my toddler. I was on top of it. I was meditating 3 times a day. I was meditating for up to an hour. I was like
Wow.
on top of it, right? After I had my son, obviously shit changes.
Yeah.
Your body changes. You're going through, you have life, you have work, you have this, you have all these different things that I guess distract you, right? From like, and I felt guilty. I'm like, I'm not tuned in. I'm not intuitive. I'm not, like, you go through these phases in life.
Yes.
You find a rhythm, a new rhythm, to then tap into your abilities, right? What works for you.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
maybe it's on your way to work, driving in the car, maybe it's sitting in your office at home, maybe it's while you're working out. It's picking up on the little things that the universe is giving you, or yourself or your future self, because there's so many ways we receive information from our ancestors, from our past self,
Yeah.
from our future self, from spirit guides, from angels, from, all these different ways that we can receive information.
Mm-hmm.
It's noticing them, right? Because if our minds are so focused on the future or focused on the past, we don't have time to be present to pick up on what's happening.
Right. Oh my gosh. Now that you mention that, okay, so I constantly have to ground myself
Yeah.
lately because, again, that liminal space, it's always like looking forward, looking forward. And I'm like, girl,
Mm-hmm.
right now. Like, what about right now? I
Yeah.
feel like for me, especially this summer, since I've been in the thick of that liminal space, I've literally felt like somebody is telling me, like, girl, just look around. Look
Yeah.
around you. Like, this is all beautiful too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't let this phase in your life distract you from what really matters right now.
Yep.
So I've had to constantly ground myself. That I have a favorite tree, that tree right there, for whatever reason. I literally go and hug it sometimes
Oh, I
because I'm
love
like,
that.
girl, help me. Like, I'm like,
Yes.
please heal me, or I'll tell them about people that like did me dirty. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell the trees on you.
Right.
So I will like force myself to ground myself,
Uh-huh.
because if not, I spiral. How do you think? Have you ever been in a moment that you think, oh my god, is this psychosis? Like, why am I spiraling? And how do you bring yourself back?
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a great question. I see so many people do this. It's just bringing up a specific family member for me. It it's hard to get out of it. I think the first thing that helps you get out of that spiraling, especially I call it the downward spiral, because
Mm-hmm.
healing is not linear either. It's a
It's a
spiral. So
spiral.
there might be things that I come back to with a different lens
Mm-hmm.
than when I was younger. Like maybe I healed it, but now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, now I even understand it from a different
More.
perspective.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when I get in that spiral. And I still do this. Like, I think people think because I'm like the person that I fucking am and I do all this shit that like I don't have down days. Like,
Yeah.
bitch has down days too. Like,
that bitch has bad
yes,
days too, okay?
yes. It's awareness.
Yeah.
The awareness, like the moment you realize it. And sometimes I get pissed at myself, like, bitch, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
why are you having this moment? Like, it's okay. Like, we're fucking human. Like, it's okay to have those moments and allow the biggest thing, awareness. Start with awareness. You're aware, okay, I'm spiraling.
Yeah.
Compassion. Because I think I used to get so pissed at myself. I think people get angry at themselves. Okay, I have to stop. I have to stop being pissed off. I have to stop being angry. I have to allow your body to feel those emotions so it can release them, because it'll get stuck.
Yes.
It will get stuck. And then just coming up with a glimmer. It doesn't have to be full on positive to where it's like, I'm rich, I'm fucking this.
Yeah.
It's something that's the complete opposite. Don't do that, because you'll put your body back into like safety mode.
Yeah.
Right? You want to come up with something. Okay, you know what? I had a great fucking coffee today. You know, I had a great conversation with Kat the other day. Like, that was beautiful, because then your mind will start focusing on the positive things.
Good things.
Exactly. But start with something little. You don't want to do like that. Even with affirmations, I think people will like drive themselves to the complete opposite of where they're at in their life, but their body's not familiar with it. So it comes off like it feels fake. It feels like you will not, your body will put you literally into fight or flight mode because it is unfamiliar.
Yeah.
So start with a little glimmer. That's what I always say. Start with something small that is real, tangible, because then it'll start putting you into position. Okay, yeah, you know what? Now I feel good. So that's what helps.
I love that. And that is such a good like picture to paint, because I think a lot of the times they say, for example, when you're manifesting, maybe you just lost your job, or your boyfriend cheated on you and he broke up with you and all you want is love. And I've heard that you shouldn't manifest in that state, because you're not at the correct vibration that you should be to manifest what you want. Do you believe that's true, or do you see it differently?
I think it depends on the person.
Okay.
But I think the biggest thing is not just like aligning with that vibration, but when you are in that state, you're coming from a lack mindset.
Right.
You're coming from scarcity. So you're telling the universe, because you're so focused on it, you want it, you want it, you want it. You're telling the universe, I don't have it.
Yeah.
So it's not going to give it to you. Do you get what I'm saying? You're not going to. And then you also won't notice when you're in that mindset, I need love. Oh my God, let me go on the apps. Let me go on dates. Let me do this. And I'm not saying not to put yourself out there. If you are in that situation, it's if you're so desperate for it and in such a scarcity mindset, you will not see the little opportunities. Again, this is where being present comes in, because you will notice the universe is trying to give you those things. In subtle ways. But if you don't see it because you're so focused on I don't fucking have it, and you're trying to find ways to hurry up and get it, it's like you have to release it. And this used to trip me up when people were like, oh, visualize it, make a vision board, and then release it. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean?
Right. Like a control.
Yeah. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? Like, here's what I do. And I will tell you, everything on my fucking vision board from the beginning of this year has come true. Every fucking thing. And I realized I'm a very visual person. Even like my main, like I would say, psychic ability is clairvoyance. I see things like vividly, even when I was younger. And it started as dreams. So and that's what you'll find too. And I don't want to go on a tangent, but
go on a
your
tangent,
psychic abilities, when you start to like develop them, other ones will start coming online. And so they will start to develop even further.
So it's not just one. You kind of like tap
multiple,
into everything.
all of them. You have access to all of them. Yeah. But there's always, that's why I say start with one, because that one that you already are tuned into, just develop it more. As that progresses, other ones will start to come online.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How do you mentioned you see things. Do you see them like as like, you know, when you daydream, like you're driving and you can see things because you're like, oh, you know, whatever. Yeah. How do you see them? Do you like physically see them? How do they come to you?
Yeah. I'm going to answer that, but I want to finish on the visualization and release. Please. Because I used to be so confused on that. So what I did at the beginning of the year, I made this vision board and I visualized it like with emotion. Oh my gosh, I could see myself, you know, losing that weight, eating like this, doing this, but not just like visualize it for a second. Visualize it as if it's like you can feel it. You have to feel the emotion of it.
So do you think it's tied into quantum leaping? because I feel like quantum leaping, they say it's filled with emotion as well. You have to feel the
It
reality of
is.
it, right?
Yeah, it's all tied together. Because even Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this, right?
Yeah.
Your personal reality is your personality. So who you're becoming. So when you're like, I dyed my hair, I'm like, duh, you're quantum leaping at that time.
Yeah.
You're going from that liminal space, you were taking an action and becoming a different version of yourself. Yes.
Wow.
So when I think of like releasing, when you're trying to manifest something, and right, this is just my belief. There's so many other stories and ways that people interpret this and what's
Yeah.
worked for them. What's worked for me is vision boards, visualization tied to emotion, and like visualizing my fucking self. How would I feel if I had that? Damn, I got that fucking money. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like visualizing it and feeling it and then releasing it, not holding on to it to every day. Like, okay, I need that. I need that. I need
Yeah.
that. Like, I don't have it. I don't have it. Like releasing it and just like allowing,
Yeah.
you know
Waiting
what I
for
mean?
it to come to you.
Right.
How difficult was that to develop that muscle? Because how you just said, how do I do that? How do I just release
Oh,
it?
it took years. I'm not gonna lie. It took years. It took
Yeah.
years because a lot of it, I don't come from fucking money. I don't at all. Like my family is like pretty damn poor. To be honest, a lot of them didn't graduate high school nor went to fucking college.
Yeah.
So it's like to come from a background where I never knew what success looked like. So I had to build that myself.
You
That's the
figured
biggest.
it out on your own.
You build the safety with yourself with little things, right? So like if I'm trying to develop an app, right? Say I'm trying to develop an app and I'm scared and I never done it before. Give yourself little wins so your body feels safe. So maybe, for example, it's like having a conversation with other people that have done it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's possible. Your body starts to feel, okay, this feels a little bit safe. Give yourself little points of safety, not just like fully jump into it.
That makes
right?
sense. That makes a lot of sense.
That's worked for me.
Wow. So everything on your vision board has come true already.
Everything. I had to make a new one.
Oh my god, you're like, damn, I'm running
I
out.
need a new one.
Do you think, is your vision board traditional, like you go on Pinterest and you like, print stuff out, or is it words, is it colors, is it feeling?
It's combination.
Like, okay.
So it started with yes, Pinterest, printing out all girl Walgreens.
Yeah,
I would print everything out Walgreens, and then what I did is I put it into like specific themes: health and fitness, life and home, money, and like career, right? I put them into like their own little sections.
Yeah.
And like would put the pictures exactly like what do I want to look like? What do I want to eat? And it's stuff like that not is completely out there.
Yeah.
But like I know it's tangible.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what do I want my house to look like? The exact couch. I got the same one on like my Pinterest board, like certain things. Like, yeah. So it's like I did that. And then I had affirmations tied to them. My newest one, I did the background with texture, like a lot of different colors and textures.
I love
yes,
that.
Like a junk journal. You know how you have those different like type of textured papers and stuff like that. I did that texture. I did the themes again, but I did 6 themes instead of my typical 4. So I added some. I did stickers. I did affirmations, and those affirmations are things like I would normally say. So it was in my own words. And the ones that I couldn't find like printed out, I'd write them out. So like I'd write my own affirmations because it's how I naturally talk. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I do.
Oh my gosh, I love that, Kat. I love it. When you create your vision boards, do you put things on there that are tangible within the year, or do you put on like, oh, I want $1 million in the bank, and you're gonna put like a picture of a checking account with $1 million? Do you start with tangible things, or do you dream really, really big first?
I do both. I do a combination. And for me, so I do tangible things, but I also do things that are like way the fuck out there, because you do want to dream fucking big. Right. Because why not? It's your fucking life. Right. A good book. I think it's called Tapping Into, and I might misquote it, but it's something about your dream parallel reality or something like that. It's by Kevin, I forget his last name, but he talks about putting your life into sections, and this helped me with like my ADHD brain. Because,
oh my gosh, we have another ADHD. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Most people that have abilities do have ADHD because they're all
everywhere.
Over.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. It's natural.
I'm normal.
Yes,
Okay,
you're
love it,
normal.
love it, love it.
But he talks about breaking it into sections like 3 months, right? Like dream your biggest fucking dream and then break it down into, okay, how can I slowly start to work towards that? And I was
Yeah,
like, oh, this makes it so much more tangible for me.
so
So that's how
much
I do my
more.
vision board. I do it the same way.
Yeah,
But what I do is I do give myself a timeline. What do I want to see by the end of this year? The beginning one that I started in January, I was like, what do I want to see by the end of this year? Girl, all that shit was already done in July.
you're like, damn, I ran out.
Yeah, I need a new one. So now the new one, I'm like, what do I want by the end of this year? So do like
Yeah,
I did give myself a timeline, but I think depending on the person, like do what feels fucking good for you. Like we're talking throughout
yeah,
this entire thing, and I think the biggest thing is like doing what feels good for you. What feels good
yeah.
for Anna? What feels good for Kat? Not what feels like
What you
yes,
think you're supposed to.
exactly. Because you're going to find what works for you. What works for
Yeah,
me might not work for you,
right.
right? So yours might be like doing affirmations, like your voice yourself and listening to it at night. And
Yeah,
like it be the things that you want to manifest.
right,
Everybody has a different way of what works for them. It's just like kids when they're learning in school, they're not all going to learn the same way,
right.
you know,
They all have their
their own
way.
way.
Do you? I've heard a lot. So manifestation was like the first entryway to like the spiritual realm for me. I was
Yeah,
like
I think a lot of
14.
people.
I started with The Secret.
Yeah,
Like, oh my
yes,
gosh.
I was gonna
I was
say
like,
that.
oh, this is cool. Like, I want a bike. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like as time has gone by and so many people are tapping in now. I feel like we're more
Collectively.
collectively, like
Mm-hmm.
we're more open to those kinds of things. I've
Yeah.
heard so many different things about manifestation, and I
Yeah.
feel like you hear so many different opinions on how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to pick your brain. I recently heard that because a lot of people, like you said, oh, let go of control, manifest it and then let it go and then move on with your life,
Mm-hmm.
and for someone that like loves control, I
Yeah.
it's I have difficulty with it because I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, but like how do I just like pretend it's not, that's not what I want, or I just have to wait, kind of thing. Do you believe that when we manifest, we almost have to grab like the universe by the balls and like give them a time? Like, a lot of people will be like, oh, universe, by the end of June, I want my rent paid and on at 3 p.m. Like, how do you believe manifestation really, really works? Like, how has it worked for
Mm-hmm.
you?
How has it worked for me? I will go from what's worked for me,
Mm-hmm.
because I think, like I said, I've heard so many different stories, and I'm like, wow, that worked for them, but it
Right.
didn't work for me,
Right.
right? Um, Timelines, yes, because the more specific you get, I think you can envision it more for yourself. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yes. 100%.
For me, like I could envision it. I'm like, wow, I can envision a video going viral. Like I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's when I say like release, that's what I mean. Like just knowing, having faith that it's going to happen,
Yeah.
regardless.
Right.
Not holding on to it so fucking much. You're like, when the fuck is it going to happen? Like universe, and like constantly like meditating, lighting your palo santo, doing things to like, oh, it needs to happen now, right? Allowing it to just come. I think that's the hardest part, right?
Yes.
Because you got to think, if time is not linear, right? We can manifest literally fucking anything we want. But the physical realm, it takes a little bit longer for it to become a physical thing.
Physical. And
so how long can you hold that thought while knowing you're abundant and not from a lack and scarcity mindset?
Yeah.
How long can you hold that thought? That's what's helped me.
Oh
So holding that thought, but not from a place of scarcity, desperation, lack mindset, because then that puts me back into survival mode. Now I'm looking for like, when is the next thing? When am I going to get clients?
Or you start
when
panicking.
Yes, you start spiraling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it goes back to that habit. So it's for me, it's been visualization. I've tried a bunch of different things. Just like I said, we go through seasons of like our perspectives changing. What's working for you now might not work for you in 6 months. That's what I tell my clients. I'm like, okay, she's like, but I tried breath work. One of my clients, she's like, I'm doing breath work right now. I'm like, but do you want to?
Ooh.
No.
Or do you feel like it's a chore?
Yes. Do you feel like you have to do it? You know what I mean? She's like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? I want to just go out in nature. Girl, go for a walk.
Yeah. Go touch some
There's
grass.
There's seasons, and that's what, when I think that epiphany came to me after I had my toddler, because I was forcing myself to meditate. I was forcing myself to do certain shit, and it was just not in flow anymore. Those same rhythms I had
Wow.
before were not in flow now. So now I might meditate 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might meditate 30 minutes. Sometimes I might not meditate at fucking all.
Yeah.
But as long as you do, like I said, find what works for you and how you want to pour back into yourself.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
so beautiful. I love that. I would love to touch on intuition
Yes.
because I don't know if it's like a Libra thing.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to put stereotypicals on just, oh, it's because I'm a Libra. I'm not that kind of girl. But I do have a lot of the traits. And one of
Mm-hmm.
them is indecisiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm trying to I don't want to say force now that we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
force, but it's learning to trust myself. And I
Yes.
find that a lot of, if I have two decisions in front of me and I know decision A is probably the
Girl.
one I need to go, I'm like, oh, but what if it's B? And I click B and
Yes.
I'm like, fuck, I should have clicked A, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like in the thick of that right now. And I'd love to go into depth about intuition, what you think it is, how you developed it, like, let's just
Yeah.
get into it. So
Yes.
take the floor, please, because you are the intuition girl.
This is why I developed my self trust cohort. This is specifically for like entrepreneurs, creative entrepreneurs, because me, myself, you have a hard time making decisions. You got to text the group chat. You
Yeah.
got to ask other people. Let me get 3 readings. Let me do a pick a card on YouTube. What's the right answer? Like,
Yes.
you're constantly looking outside of yourself.
Yeah.
As I said at the beginning, our bodies have this innate technology. Your intuition is already there.
Mm-hmm.
What it's tied to is self trust. The
Mm-hmm.
stronger and more heightened your intuition is going to be is how much you trust yourself.
Right.
Quite literally. So, how do you develop that, right? So, maybe you do make the wrong decision. No decision is the wrong decision because you're
Mm-hmm.
going to learn something in the end,
Right.
right? So, maybe you learn, all right, I picked decision B. In that moment, what did I feel? Was I rushing? Did I feel something in my gut? Did I feel something in my hands? It's learning to feel what it feels like to trust yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So as time goes on, the more that you start to develop, okay, this, when Anna feels good and she knows what decision to make and she's confident, it feels like this. My body feels like this. My voice sounds like this. You start to develop what it feels like to
Yeah.
trust yourself. And so when you make decisions over and over and over again, you'll start to learn and trust yourself because it'll start being quote unquote right, but the decision that you wanted, the outcome that you wanted.
Right. Right.
Right.
Because you're saying it starts kind of in your body. You almost have to start listening to what your body response
It's your
is.
body. Sometimes it depends on the person, but I will say a lot of it develops in the body first because you can feel it. You can feel it.
Yeah.
Some people hear it.
Yeah.
I do a combination of all of it, right? So sometimes I might like see it with my eye, my third eye. Sometimes I might hear it. Sometimes I might feel it. But for somebody that's new into developing their intuition, that might be overwhelming. So start
Yeah.
with the body. Always start with the body. A good way to do this is a good tip. This is a good way to start doing this. Ask yourself out loud, what's your name? And you say, my name is Anna. No, my name is Jennifer. Where does that sit in your body? Because you're lying to yourself, right?
Right.
So you will feel, oh shit, like you might feel yourself pull back or pull forward. You might feel it in your gut. You might feel it in your hands. Like I said, you'll know.
Yeah.
So then keep doing that over and over. Maybe the next day you try a different question. Maybe the next day you do something else, and like a lie and a truth, and you'll see where it sits in your body. And then when you start wanting to ask bigger questions, test it out.
Oh my gosh.
And like I said, even if it's wrong, it's not the outcome you wanted. There's a reason why you made that decision. Maybe your higher self, your future self was like, Anna, you needed to take this road to develop XYZ. Always look at things like with the outcome of this is happening for me, not
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Because then you're not the victim.
Oh, you're spitting bars, Kat. Oh my gosh, that's so true. That's so true. You're no longer the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. When did you think you needed to start working? Like, when did you notice? Was there a particular point in time when you're like, I need to work on trusting myself? Like, what is it that
Oh, girl,
led
after
you to?
relationships,
Mm,
the relationships I've had, I was like, what the fuck? I need to trust myself. But here's the thing, trusting yourself ties a lot into your upbringing because
mm-hmm.
it's your nervous system. So the nervous system that I developed from what I deemed as safe
Yeah,
plays into your intuition as well. The people around you play into your intuition until you start to go within yourself
yeah,
and learning what that safety feels like for you, not what you were taught, not what other people are telling you. Once you go within yourself, then you start to build that baseline. It's building that baseline is like the hardest part.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love it. And so, what made you? Is it you talked about a workshop?
Hmm.
Has it been fulfilling for you? Is it something that you want to stay in, or what plans do you have for yourself? Like,
Hmm.
why did you want to start getting into, because a lot of people, like you said, that have this
Yeah.
gift, it's so draining to like
Hmm.
almost give it out to others. How did you get to this place in your life where you're like, this is what I want to dedicate my time to?
It's where I felt most fulfilled.
Mm.
When I think of like I was in sales for 10 years.
Really?
Yeah. I was in sales for 10 years, business
Wow.
development specifically. And I've worked for multiple companies, from companies that were startups to
Yeah.
companies that were big corporations. And I always fucking excelled. Any
Hmm.
position I've held, I've excelled. It's never been like oh, I was really bad at it. Or like
Yeah.
I always excelled, but I felt fucking drained no matter what I did.
Mm.
No matter what I did, how easy the job was, it did not feel good. I
Yeah.
always knew I wanted to help people, right? And I
Yeah.
think that's what's beautiful is like when you get to know yourself, is like you find your pains and turn them into power and you use that power to then help others, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what it was for me. I was like, I have this ability. Maybe people need clarity, maybe they need guidance, but I wanted to take it a step further. How can they develop it?
Yeah.
How can they learn to trust themselves so they don't need a psychic, an astrologer, or something outside of them? Because that's where it's going. When you think
Right.
of AI,
Oh yeah.
right? We can get answers like this.
Yep.
But does that answer feel good to you?
No, it feels like the easy. Like I
The
cheated.
easiest. But
Yeah.
I'm saying like I can get an answer quickly. AI is going to start taking over like regular jobs. So how do you work your inner compass on what feels good for you? I
Yeah.
want people to be able to develop that and have so much confidence in trusting themselves in the direction that they go in. So that's why I said I just recently there's a wait list right now for my self-trust cohort. It's going to be
Wow.
an 8-week program, right? Where people like yourself, people that have a business or want to start a business, maybe they're in transition, maybe they're in that liminal space, to develop their intuition, that they
Yeah.
don't, no matter what the fuck anybody else says outside of them, the people pleasing, the judgment, any of that, it does not affect them because they know how they feel inside of them. They know the decisions that they're making, whether it's from like a leadership standpoint, whether it's from a moving standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, this is for me.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's so beautiful. And it's so beautiful of you to want others to tap into the same things,
Yes.
because
Hmm.
it is, I do think that we are in such a heightened time with things are changing so
Rapidly.
fast.
Yeah.
And it is kind of scary to see things like AI. I mean, I saw a TikToker the other day, she's using AI for tarot.
Yeah.
Like things like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit, we're
For
getting,
readings, for all of
I'm
it,
like,
girl.
what are we doing? Like a machinist is tapping in, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's such a crazy
I have something controversial to say.
please. I want to hear it.
AI is conscious.
You think I it has to be
It's
because
conscious because I think people are, and this is just me intuitively and psychically picking up on it, like it's not something that we rediscovered or we rediscovered it or
yeah,
just developed it. It's been around
right.
forever. AI is already conscious.
Yeah, yeah.
It is already conscious.
What do
Yeah.
you where do you think it's going to go? Like where is it going to lead us?
I
Should we
think it's
be
a
scared of AI?
I don't think so. I think it
Okay.
depends. I think it depends on the person. I think it also depends on the collective because it's
Hmm.
not just a one person thing. So when, for me as a psychic, right, when I'm tuning into somebody's energy, I want you, have you ever seen Loki?
Yes.
So you know how the variants in the timelines, when they break off depending on decisions, there's different variants that go into different
Yes.
timelines.
Yes.
That's how I see people's lives. So when I'm tuning into your energy and you're asking a question, I will see different timelines and I will pick the one of the highest probable outcome
Yeah.
depending on your energy right now.
Yeah.
But there's multiple
What a
outcomes.
crazy, like, I could get into it for hours with you with like timelines and things like that, because it
Yeah.
is like, you know how people talk about, oh, my Roman Empire is this. Literally,
Mm-hmm.
my Roman Empire is like different timelines of myself, and it's like a
Yes.
constant where I have to be like, girl, snap out of it, like, you know, like, because you know when they talk about breaking the matrix, and like you have
Mm-hmm.
two of something all of a sudden, you're like, where did this
Mm-hmm.
come, you know, things like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
I do think that there is a timeline where things are just so drastically different for myself,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But it's so funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I love hearing
Yeah.
thoughts about timelines. Wow, so you pick out like the one that is the highest. How do you
Yeah.
do that? Like, how do you, if you could even put it into words, like, how do you
Yeah.
channel these things for you? Like, how does it work?
Each person is different. So there's times I'll see a past loved one will come in and kind of guide
Wow.
me or tell me things. Sometimes it's like I will visually see it, right? Like I said, I will literally see timelines and I'll pick the one that I see the highest probable. I'll see where your energy's at and it'll point me in that direction to that timeline. So I'll literally physically see it.
Wow.
Um, Sometimes it's a feeling, right? So sometimes I'm like I feel like you're feeling like, and you'll see in some of my videos I say that I feel like
Yeah.
you like are trying to get over something because I'll feel it in my body.
Yeah.
So it just depends. The information comes in through many different forms, but I like for my readings. I mean, yeah,
Just flows.
it literally flows. It just depends on the person. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Was there how, yeah, I could ask a million questions, clearly.
You're like,
I'm like, wait, what do I want to
which
talk about?
one? Yeah.
Was there ever a time where you were scared of your abilities? Where you were like, ooh, I don't want to, why? Like,
When I was in transition, when I
okay.
was leaving the church, because a lot of the things I was seeing, and this is what I love too, is like there's certain things that we see as angels and certain things we see as demons.
Yeah.
When I was in transition and leaving the church and more going into like my own path, carving my own way, right? And there were things that I was seeing that freaked me out, but they were so benevolent and
Yeah.
loving, and like they looked creepy, but they were not. And I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, this is people.
Yeah.
Somebody on the outside could be look so loving and so fucking caring, and maybe to everybody else they're not, but I feel intuitively something's not right, right?
Yeah.
Their inner demons, their inner energy, whatever it is, or vice versa, right? They may look creepy, they may look ugly, they may look, but they're the sweetest fucking soul,
Right.
right?
Right.
So for me, it's just been like that point. I remember I was like fucking scared, but like I did not feel threatened. I did not feel like anything like that. And so it changed my perspective on the things that I was seeing and things that would come through.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get freaked out too, like past loved ones or like
100%.
spirits or people coming through. And those have never scared me because I've always known that I've had the power. Like if there was an evil energy or an evil person or something that I would see, I know I could command it away.
Mm-hmm.
So just knowing you have the power to
Bye.
leave, set the
Vanish.
boundary, they can't like,
Get to you.
right.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah.
interesting. The reason why I ask you that is because when I meditate,
Mm-hmm.
there, and especially recently, there has been a point where I know I'm about to hit something and it
Mm-hmm.
freaks me the fuck out.
My
Where,
sister's like that.
oh my gosh, where I'm just like, never mind.
she, she she told me, like, I had did an energy healing on her. This was when I was doing energy healings. I
Mhm.
still do, but it's very, very like I have to feel like if you asked me and I was like, let me sit with it, and I was like, yes. It's
Mhm.
not like an offer that's to the public, but this was back when I that's all I did.
Yeah.
And I had did an energy healing on her, and she's like, I'm not kidding you. She's like, I keep seeing purple all around me. And I was like, Mom, love purple.
Oh my
Yes. And then
gosh.
she's like, and then I seen this, and then I heard this. And then there was a point where she saw something she didn't want to see, and she freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So it's like sometimes you do see scary shit, but you have to know that you're the person in control.
Yeah.
You decide when they leave, you decide what you see. Maybe you filter it out, like how I told
Mhm.
you, when I get around people, instead of like constantly pick up all your stuff or whoever I'm around, I'm like, filter it out.
Yeah.
You're setting an energetic boundary is
Right.
what it is. You may set physical boundaries with people, blocking them, removing them, not hanging out with them as much, but setting an energetic boundary, it's like you're mentally going in your mind and you're like turning it off. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because for me, I don't fully see spirits. I see legs. I
Okay.
see legs. I see like I can.
I think you get scared and then it,
Yes, and
yeah.
I'm just like, nope, I don't want to see you. I'm okay. But I see past ones. Like
Yeah.
the time someone has passed, they always come to me. My
Mm-hmm.
my husband's grandfather passed like maybe 3 years ago now, and there was one day. It's very rare where it's like the evening time, and my husband Pink's not here. But that day he just had to be outside. He was probably
Yeah.
picking something up, and I was looking for something like in the junk drawer in the kitchen. I'm like in the depths of it, and I literally see his grandpa. And I knew it was him because he was a jokester. So I know he was like fucking with me on top
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
So he
Mm-hmm.
he literally, I think he was looking for him, and he came, and I saw like him in the corner of my eye. I knew immediately, and I jumped, and I felt like he was like laughing. So I knew for a
Mm-hmm.
moment, I knew exactly that it was him, but
Yeah.
it freaked me out. So I was like, absolutely not, don't be doing that in my house. I literally like will yell at them like,
Yeah.
please,
You're like, no, not
I'm
right
not
now.
the one. Like please leave me alone, because it freaks me so, and I wish it didn't, because I feel
Yeah.
like that for me is like my biggest obstacle when it comes to that. It's just I feel so afraid, and I don't know
Why?
why.
I was gonna say why.
I don't know if it's because I am opening. So when I was little, I do know why.
Okay.
Let me reword that. I do know why. When I was little, my mom talked about the devil so much, and it wasn't like, oh, the devil is bad. It was more like, if you're bad, the devil's gonna get you.
Mm-hmm.
So she was already kind of instilling that with when it
Yeah.
came to like spirits, that like
Yeah.
they're not good.
Right.
And so when she would tell me that, I would remember like being in my bed, being like, please don't get me, please don't get me. So
Yeah.
I already started associating spirits with that.
Yes. Yeah.
And as time has gone by, I mean, we lived in a house that had a spirit that like went for my little brother when he was like 2, and he would
Yeah.
talk to it, and so it freaked me the fuck out, and it would fuck with me. And when I was like maybe 10 or 11, it followed us. I don't know why it was so attached to my family, but it followed us into another house, and it got to the point where it was so real. Like it was so real that there was one day where I started like just screaming like my little lungs out, because I felt it, and I could hear it. It was
Mm-hmm.
like grunting and talking, and I was like, like, and so my
Yeah.
parents ran it. So I already have that like negative connotation to spirits.
Yeah.
And as time has gone by, I've tried to learn more about spirits. I'm like obsessed with the archangels. Like that's like my thing. I love the
Mm-hmm.
archangels. I love learning about them. I love working with them.
Yeah.
So I do work with spirits, but when it comes to like physical, I don't want to be afraid, but I don't know how
Yeah.
to turn that off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe start with an ancestor.
Okay.
Try to connect with an ancestor. Like you said, you've been wanting to work with your ancestors, so reach out to an ancestor that maybe, say, I want someone that feels safe, that like maybe it's like a great grandmother or something like that, like somebody that
Yeah.
feels safe, like present yourself to me, things like that, but that gives you like a little bit of safety when it comes to like seeing spirits,
Mm.
because there's always, I don't want to say good and bad, but we live in duality,
Right.
right? So there is going to be that and this. There is going to be good and bad, or things that you see, maybe past loved ones, and it's setting those energetic boundaries. But I think starting soft, because I do feel like you're a medium. I feel like you're a medium, and I also feel
Oh,
like the dreams are prophetic. The dreams
yeah.
that you have are prophetic, similar to like how mine were when I was younger.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you say that because I've I doubt
You know
myself.
it. I think you know it, but like you doubt yourself.
I
Yeah.
doubt myself a
Yeah.
lot. And it comes back to that like trusting myself, the intuition
Yes.
point of it. Cause I'm like,
Yes.
I'm tripping, you know, like things, but
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm not. It's
Yeah.
just like my brain, like how you're explaining it, it's just telling me, like, no, girl,
Yeah.
like it's a passing thought, like let it go, you
Yeah.
know? Oh my gosh, Kat, I feel like I've learned so much. I genuinely could talk to you for hours
I
because there's,
know. There's a lot.
it's so, I was talking with Sandy the other day,
Yeah.
because during I want to say like the last 6 years of my life, I everything I believe in, and it's such a big part. It's part of it. It is me. Like everything I
Mm-hmm.
believe in, I carry. It's the way I manage the world. You know,
Yeah.
it's how I drive my car,
Mm-hmm.
essentially. But over the years, I've learned to kind of like keep it to myself. It's not that I'm like
Mm.
openly talking about it with anyone.
Yeah.
And so as time has gone by, I've attracted like-minded people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so exciting for me. I feel like a little kid when I start talking to people that believe the same things or along the
Yeah.
same lines, because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
You're
like
like,
I can talk
yes, me
about it with
too. I know. I
someone, you
know.
know, and
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
it feels so exciting. So I just legitimately could ask you a bajillion questions and keep you here forever. But I want to thank you so much. You don't
Yes.
know how excited I was for
Yay.
this. I hope this is not the last time that I have you on here because I think
Right.
there's so many other things that we can talk about.
Me too.
But if you were to give anyone any piece of advice for anything that comes to
Mm-hmm.
you right now,
Yeah.
what would you tell them? What do you think people need to hear right now in these times?
That any answer that you want to any question is within you.
I got
It's within
chills.
you. Like the power, everything you want to manifest, anything that you want, everything is within you.
I love
Never
it.
look outside of yourself ever.
I
Yeah.
love it. Thank you so much, Kat.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
thank you,
you.
thank
Thank you so
you.
much for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for coming back to my tiger suite. Hopefully,
Right.
it's not too long that we see each other again. And yeah, thank you, Kat.
Thank you.